PCS Nation Substack subscriber family. Welcome to another episode of Out the Window. Friday night, coming to you live from the PCS studios in the outskirts of New York City, in the heart of the bluest, ugliest, awfulest state in the country. It's like, actually, you know what? And I'm here's a self back patting. I called this a couple of nights ago. I said it, that New York was officially, in my opinion, the bluest, awfulest state in the country. It surpassed California. It's actually official now, technically. The Cato Institute, which is a polling company, they're libertarian, they're fairly middle of the road and fairly respectable. The Cato Institute puts out biannually their list of the 50 least free states in the country in order. And number one, as I told you the other night, was New York. New York State is the least free state in the country, according to the Cato Institute. How about that, huh? Who told you? Your pal Glenn. So, we're here, and we do the best we can with it. But, man, it's getting awfuler and awfuler every day, and I got some stuff about that. And we certainly have plenty to talk about tonight. We got to talk about Jussie, obviously. We're going to do about 30 minutes tonight. We're going to take some calls later on, if you want. We got to talk about Jussie. And I wish I was saying, like I was alluding to the other night, that we could wrap this thing up. But apparently we're not going to be allowed to do that because there's going to be appeals and Jussie's going to keep this going and he's going to drag it right up to the Supreme Court, I think, if he's allowed to, if he can, because this is all just a big play, like we talked about on the little short one this morning, to make himself a little more. But the thing is, like, initially, I believe, see, I'm getting into this shit already. I don't even want to, but I'm gonna make it quick. We got other things to get to. Like I was saying this morning, this is a play, 100%, to get himself a little bit more prestige and to take it into his contract negotiations on Empire, 100%. I mean, other people are saying it. I'm just not just making this up out of my head. But the thing is now, it's gotten so out of control and went so far off the rails that it's transcended that and gone into, he's going to be like a legit wokester rock star, like a Colin Kaepernick or whoever else they put up there. That's what he's looking at now. Like, he's going to drag this fucking thing out as long as he possibly can, keep it in the news, take it to the appeals court. I mean, that's got to be his play. That's got to be his play at this point. He's certainly not going back on TV anytime soon on any white. Well, again, you know, you look at that thing and you try and look at these things objectively, and it's ridiculous too, because you can't, because there's always two sides to it, and more every day. So I guess half the country is probably saying, yeah, let's get him his own show. Let's make him, you know, whatever. And then there's America, who's saying this guy's a dirtbag and why isn't he going to jail, which still remains to be seen. But that's what I think the play is. But anyway, here's the challenge I want to put out to you now. And this is really all I was going to say about Jussie from the get-go, unless you guys wanted to jump into it in the comments. Here's my challenge to you. Anybody out there, I see 20 people in the room now, people popping in, people popping out. Anybody who hears it on the replay later, go in the comments. Anybody heard one person from 2 years ago who celebrated Jussie Smollett and supported him and said what a victim he was and played that bullshit race pimping nonsense? Anybody of those people that you remember from 2 years ago that jumped in 2 minutes to get behind Jussie and say what a victim he was, did any one of you hear any one of those people come out today and walk back their statement and say that they were wrong? I would love to hear your answers on that. I think I'm going to be disappointed because I think I know what the answer is going to be to that. It's going to be a resounding no, because not one of them, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Robin Roberts, any of the talking head bimbos on CNN or MSNBC, any of the writers at the Washington Post, any of the celebrities, any of them, not one of them came out today that I'm aware of and walked back their bold, accusatory statements that they made 2 years ago when this first played. So that's your challenge. We'll get back to this later if it warrants. that's what I was thinking. That's what I wanted to toss out to you guys. We got other things to talk about. We got the inflation report came out today, 6.8% inflation. Thanks, Joe. Fuck Joe Biden. We'll play the song later if I remember and if I can technically get it playing without like dropping the phone out the window. So we can talk about that if you want, man. I'm looking it right in the face on a lot of levels right now, aside from my whole cyberverse G-World thing, like in real life. It's looking pretty ugly. So we can kick that around if you'd like. I know we're going to hear from Queen Linda in a minute or so because we're going to have her on the show as much as we possibly can. And I think she just had to get her little gambling thing done. Oh, no, wait, that's at the top of the hour, so she's got to get off quick. Anyway, she's going to be giving us a call in a minute or so. So let's go to the scroll. Mary replying to Asia. You guys are talking already. I love that. Mary Gunny, Lemon wants to date Jussie. Yo, it's unreal, man. And how, like, you look at the whole parallel. Hang on, let me just grab this from Linda. Hey, Linda.
Hello.
What's going on? Let me get you on speaker.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, it's Friday night in Wisconsin, so
Yeah,
I
here
had to
too.
go out.
It's
I
Friday.
had to go out and have a fish fry.
Yeah.
Yep, but I went early, so I'd be back in time for this.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Now, a fish fry, tell us what a fish fry, well, I guess half of you out there, because you all seem to be from Wisconsin, but a lot of you are, like, a fish fry, like, we do clam bakes and stuff like that. Like, I know what a fish fry is, but, like, what kind of fish are in a fish fry in Wisconsin?
Fish fry is usually perch
Okay.
or bluegill, and it's, like, deep fried. It's kind of like a little bit of a batter on it,
Right.
and then they deep fry it, and it's just so good. And you got to have a bottle of beer with it, too.
Oh, yeah. Any kind of, like, yeah. I mean, they do that here, too. But we're saltwater. Like, I've actually never lived more than probably 5 miles away from either the ocean or Long Island Sound. So, like, it's all saltwater oriented. And that would be, like, it's really not fish fry applicable food. It would be like flounder and whiting and, saltwater fish, obviously.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've never been to a fresh... Well, I guess I must have, because I have relatives up in Lake Champlain, and they used to do that stuff. And I probably have had perch.
I've never had a clam.
You're kidding?
No. What are they like?
They're sort of nasty. They're
I picture them being like an oyster. Are they?
no, yeah.
No.
Okay, so they both come in a shell, and that would be why you would think that. I'm not a big oyster fan, and it's because of the texture. They're very, very like liquidy and slimy. Like there's not a lot of chew to them.
Yeah, it's like eating a raw egg.
Yes, that's like you've had oysters. You've had oysters before?
No, I've never had them.
Okay, so they're real slippery and slick. Like if you get like fried clams, like have you ever been to Howard Johnson? You never even like had been to Howard Johnson's and had fried clams?
No.
Really?
No.
I learn something new about you every time you talk.
I don't even know that they have them around here.
Wow, wow. I wonder why that is. Anyway, like fried clams, like they take the clam neck, which is rubbery. That's the thing about like clams when you cook them. Mm-hmm. And they put it like it's like your fish fry. They put it in a batter and they deep fry it, but there's a chew to it. If you get fried oysters, like there's nothing to it. It's like you're just chewing the fried part. You're chewing the breading part. And there's the flavor, obviously. And they're delicious. Like the flavor is fantastic. Definitely better than a clam. But the chew is weird to me. Like it's just a weird texture. So they're kind of off-putting to me. Yeah. Clams, like they're I don't want to say an acquired taste. They're a very unique flavor. I mean, I'm not used to talking to somebody who's never had them before, so it's kind of hard to describe. Because people around here like eat clams. Like we had relatives out in Long Island that lived on a canal, like in Freeport, Long Island, where like you go right in the canal with a clam rake and just rake up a couple of dozen clams and eat them right there. Wow. So yeah, like it's like that. Like I guess maybe it's like that with bluegills for you guys. We got bluegills too, but we just don't really pay much attention to them because we got all these cool saltwater fish. All right,
well, sometime when I get out east, that's the first thing I'm going to try is clam.
You know what we'll do? We'll go, I don't even know if they still do this, but we used to do this thing. It's City Island, which is a part of the Bronx. It's just south of here, and it's right on Long Island Sound, and it's like a little fishing village. Like it's a little mini Cape Cod, like right there next to the Bronx in Long Island Sound. and there's fishing boats and stuff like that, and they have seafood, tons of seafood restaurants, sit downs, and at the very end they have two piers. They're two different ones. I think one was Johnny's, and I don't remember what the other one was, but that we used to go down there and just hang out, get pitchers of beer, and just clams on the half shell, dozens and dozens and dozens. So that's what we'll do when you come to New York.
Okay.
In the summertime, we'll go to City Island, we'll go to Johnny's Reefside Pier, we'll get a pitcher of beer and a couple of dozen clams, and I'll introduce you to eating raw clams.
Okay.
All right,
good.
cool. We got a plan. We got a date. Bring the family.
But yeah, the other thing is we're having terrible weather here tonight.
What?
It's a good thing that we went early to go out to eat, because when we went, there was no weather happening at all.
Okay.
We were in there maybe an hour, came out, it was sleet, the roads were slippery, it was horrible.
That's the worst. That's worse than snow.
Yeah.
Because like snow, you can get a grip on a little bit. Sleet is just forget it.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna get snow overnight. It's gonna get cold enough.
Wait, yeah, well, north of here, north and west of where I am,
All
they're
right.
going to get big time snow. 10 inches. Yeah.
Okay, you have the measuring stick out just in case, right?
I do.
You don't
I have
want
the
to
measuring
drop the ball again.
snow measuring board out just in case. Yep.
Okay. It just occurred to me.
Anyway,
Okay, go ahead. Go.
Yeah, I got two things I want to talk about
All
today.
right.
First of all, what's this deal in New York City that non-citizens can now vote?
I heard about that today. I did. I didn't really look into it. There's a lot of things happened in New York today. A lot of stupid things.
Yeah.
And I did hear about that, but I didn't really look into it because, like, I think I told you in a text earlier today that the governor had come out and just made all kinds of new proclamations, like just silly shit. And one of them was that all businesses in New York State, private businesses in New York State, as of Monday, have to go back to a mask mandate indoors. If you have a business, you have to have masks on. It's going to be a mandate from the government. Every private business, 200,000 businesses in New York State.
Uh-huh.
And the mandate was, and everybody was panicking because, like, they're just, like, somebody got a phone call at my work about it, telling them that this was happening, and they started like freaking out, and they got half the story. They didn't get the whole thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is bullshit," and blah, and everybody's getting all freaked out and mad and ready to start a rebellion. Which maybe I should have just let it go because we got to start at some point.
Yeah.
But then, like, I imagine me as the voice of reason, which I'm never really in that role very much. Went and researched it for like about 30 seconds, and it was a bullshit play, where the whole thing, and I'm not going to remember it word for word. That you have to have, any private business has to have masks in their businesses for customers and employees unless they have a vaccine plan in place already. And I pointed this out to everybody and then just basically pointed over to the sign. I was like, we got a sign in the window that says, unless you're vaccinated, you have to wear a mask.
Uh-huh.
So we have a vaccine plan in place, and therefore we should be exempt from this. So everybody kind of calmed down a little bit about that. But
Okay.
tell me about this other thing, because I heard about it, but go ahead.
Yeah, what I heard about this non-citizens being able to vote, it's just in local elections. You know, it's not state elections or federal elections. It's only in like city elections. But still, that's opening the door, you know? And once you got the door open a little crack, it never goes back.
Yeah,
shut.
I mean, that's how you test these things out. It drags me, like, this is going to, if I let it, drag me way off the topic, but like, I started a long time ago chronicling things that I was noticing in the hopes of crafting it into a book at some point, and it probably would have been great had I kept on doing that for over the last whatever 10 or 12 years it's been, because it would have been just about done now. And it was just things I observed, and let me tell you what it is, and then I'll say what I was just going to say, because I always do that. I kind of interrupt myself and get all tangled up. That I was just noticing these little things that were happening that were a test of society to see what shit will take and not kick up a storm.
Right.
And you think about, I mean, no offense to anyone. This isn't even directly at you and any of your demographics. This is just in general, a general disclaimer. I'm not saying this in a disparaging way toward anyone. I'm just telling you what I saw, okay? The first thing was, during the Obama administration, the first big significant thing. I might not even have these things in order, okay? But the whole thing with gay marriage. which I have no objection to. I don't care who anybody's married to. I don't care about any of that stuff. None of that has anything to do with me. But that was like the first little baby step test. They said, let's see, and in fact, they shoved this idiot Joe Biden. This is the way I think it went down, because he was the first one that came out and said, yeah, okay, we're good with this. And it was like they shoved him out the door and said, all right, he's expendable. Let's throw him out and have him say it before we make any kind of commitment to it. And we'll take the temperature of the people, what they think, and if it's okay, then we'll say it. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, the whole Obama administration came out and said, yes, we are fine with gay marriage, whatever. Again, I am too. It's not a shot at that. But that was a test, okay? It was like, let's see what people are going to take. Another one, and again, not necessarily in chronological order, was Zuccotti Park, okay? That was, what did they call that thing? Where everybody just gathered in the park down in Occupy Wall Street. That ended up being a whole nationwide movement. That was 100% an orchestrated test to see how much society would take before they lost their shit and started fighting back. And they took hundreds and hundreds of these dirty, slimy people, jammed them in this park, and camped out there for what was like 3 months. I wrote a lot of stuff about this, and this kind of brings me back to what I was about to start saying before. I got to go back to the original WordPress blog, Planet Common Sense. That was like the first incarnation of PCS. And I wrote, I was writing then, right about when that was going on, the whole Occupy Wall Street thing. And that's about when this started getting birthed, this idea, which never developed, and it's a shame it didn't, because it would have been good. Where they're just putting these things out there to just test the boundaries and see what they can get away with and see what people accept.
Right.
And this is 10 years ago. And again, I wish I could remember more of it off the top of my head. I'm definitely going to go look back in the old stuff and see if I can put some stuff together so we can either talk about this again or I'll write about it. There were just a progression of things, like how much people will take. The riots, when all the riots, not Rodney King, geez, I'm going way back too far. The Mike Brown thing, the Mike Brown thing with Daryl, whatever, I don't remember his last name, and it's better if we don't even say it because he should just be left alone. But the rioting that came in the wake of that was 100% orchestrated. That was like the birth of BLM Inc. That was all that. But it was another test, and each test, again, I wish I had them, like 4 or 5 more of them, just to show you the chronology of it. But each one just pushed it a little bit further, and a little bit further, and a little bit further. Then all of a sudden, it was like the bathrooms in Target that we were talking about the other day. Okay, let's just do a silly one now. Will people be okay with letting men go in the ladies' room at Target? And they threw that out there and put that to the test. And people accepted it. And, we bitched about it, and people got their feathers all ruffled, and there was a lot of legitimate reasons why people objected to that still hold up. But we accepted it eventually over the course of time. And, it's just like, all right, maybe you roll your eyes, but what do? That's it. That's all you're going to do about it. And again, following the sequence, I gave up on this a while ago. I lost all the old, I don't even know where they might be one of my old phones or something, all the notes I had from it, because that'd be a gold mine if I could pull that back together. But there was just another and another and another, one after each other. And it's built up to this. Look at the shit we're accepting now.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable. And if you rewind 5 years, just 5 years, you know what, just to take it a step back further, just to get back away from either Trump or Biden. Go back 8 years, go back 7 years, something like that. And look at the things, if somebody came back in time to you 8 years ago and said, this is what's going on in 2021, going into 2022, and talked about mask mandates and mandatory vaccinations and supply chain crisis and everything that's going on right now, you'd be like, you've got to be kidding. You are on drugs. You're a conspiracy theorist. They'd be calling you everything the left is calling you.
Right.
Because it's just so insane. But that happened that quick, didn't it? And you didn't even know it happened. And then that circles back around to your original point about how it's little baby steps, little shit like that. It's a local election. Okay, fine. You know what? Mail-in voting was for the pandemic one time last year. Yeah. You think that's ever going away? Ever?
Nope.
It's never going away. It's going to be there in one form or another until America takes this nonsense back from these people and straightens everything out. Yeah. In my humble opinion. But yeah, you're right. That's an awful thing, and it's just wrong. It's just fundamentally wrong, and it's got to be it's unconstitutional. I believe it says right in the Constitution that you have to be a United States citizen to vote in our elections.
Yeah, you think somebody is going to challenge that?
I'm
But
gonna go
no.
look after I'm done. I'm gonna go look in my little Constitution app, and I'm gonna find
Yeah.
it and I'll post it. Because I'm
Okay.
sure it says in there somewhere. I'm sure, like on one of those pages, it says you
Yeah.
have to be a U.S. citizen to vote in our fucking elections.
I would think. Yes.
Okay, so it's just not
Anyway.
just me. Anyway,
Yeah. No. Okay. Then my other thing,
go.
and this has been gnawing at me for a couple of days already, and it's about this frickin'
What I do now?
vaccine and booster shit. You know, I'm so sick of this booster crap. It's like, how many shots are they going to want us to get? They're firing people because they won't take something that wears off in 6 months anyway. And now I heard there was a school out in Los Angeles that received some kind of threat against the school. So they called the police to come and investigate it. And when the police got there, they wouldn't let the officers in that weren't vaccinated.
Holy cow.
Because in order to come into that school, you have to be vaccinated. So it's like, okay, there was a threat against the school. You call the police, but then when they come, they can't get in the door.
Oh my goodness. That.
It's
Oh,
like, I'm
cow.
done. I am so done with that bullshit.
Okay, so that's like a 5-part question. No, really. I mean, I'm being serious. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many. You tossed out so many things, like in a little bit of words. The vaccine thing and the booster thing and how many shots, there's just no answer to that because it's going to be, you know how, I'll tell you exactly. I'm already refuting myself. I'm going to tell you exactly how many shots you're going to have to get. You ready?
How many?
Everybody out there ready? As many as they can get you to take.
That's it. That is totally it.
That's your answer.
Yep.
As many as they can coerce you or threaten you or bully you into taking. That's how many shots you're going to end up getting.
Yep.
Look how many you got this year. You think you're not getting one next year? I mean, just on the calendar. Okay, it's next year. It's time for another booster shot. This is going to be never ending again unless we grab a hold of this and get it back under control and contained. As far as like who's running things, because this is just absolutely insane. Let's look at the thing like we were talking about the other day with de Blasio. He's out of office on January 3rd, and he's putting in mandates that kick in on December 27th about the vaccine.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? This is all just show and power play, and that's all it's about. It's about controlling and getting you to accept. And just like what I talked about for the last 5 minutes about, it's just a test. And they're not going to say, okay, we're done playing. We've tested them far enough. Let's leave them alone. It's never going to be that. No. It's always going to be the next worst test. Always, always, always. And that's never going to end until, again, you get control back from these lunatics and you start bringing this country back where it belongs.
Yeah.
Whew.
Ooh.
I don't know about the school thing. The school thing with the cops.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, what was the call about? Was it like an emergency call or?
Well, I guess school was not in session, so there weren't any students there, but they must have gotten a credible threat. I don't know if it was like a bomb threat or if it was a, whatever. They got some kind of threat. I don't know if somebody said that they had information that somebody was going to come to school the next day with a gun or, whatever. Some kind of threat they were made aware of. So the school district called the police to come in and investigate. So they went to the school, and when they tried to get in, they made them show their vaccine passports or whatever.
Cow.
And then the ones that didn't have it couldn't get in.
Just get out of the way. Get out of the way. Holy cow. Like, shoot him. Just shoot him in the leg.
Yeah.
Or the foot.
I'd be like, okay, next time you need help, don't bother calling me because I'm not going to show up.
And it's just, like, part of what we were talking about today at the job, and when they were kind of panicking a little bit about this Hochul mask mandate, which is bullshit, too. It's just more nonsense. But the only thing that really does in reality in our world, in our little hardware world, is it empowers all the wealthy suburbanites who are wokesters to come into your store and say, you don't have a mask on, 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 and just have another little thing where like they're superior to you. which is a
Yes.
big problem for me. Like, I'm not good with those people at all. I can't imagine why. But it just gives them like another little knife to stick in. You're like, oh, yeah, I've had people come, and it hasn't been that bad. We were open the whole time this was going on, which, I'm not going to go through the whole backstory. You know, and most of the people out there do. And over the course of it, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't have a lot of people come in who were just assholes, who were just complete assholes about it. But I did have a couple, and they were like, literally like, you can't be in this room while I'm doing this. Get someone down here holding, or telling me to put a mask on. I'm like, I'm not putting a fucking mask on, dude. What do you want? Do you need screws, or do you need like a flapper for your toilet? And I'm not here to play games with you. This is a hardware store. Oh, you have to put a mask on. You have to. No, I'm not putting a mask on. And like, it was just literally like, somebody come down here and help this lady and wear a mask because I'm going in another room. And literally, that really happened.
Yeah.
But then you have this, and you put that back on, and all these lunatics are going to come crawling out of the woodwork because that's like Christmas for them.
Yeah.
It's like, I get to go out and be a fucking asshole today.
Yeah.
And I'm
They
empowered.
live for that.
And I'm going to go in every store. And you don't know these people too. And I'm not even, some of you know where I work, but these people are special, okay? Giving them that weapon, they're going to go just store to store and just find people. And then they're going to go on Yelp and talk about it. Oh, this store wasn't wearing masks, and this store wasn't wearing masks. And every Karen little scumbag is going to come out, crawling out, and just go in stores and bust people and be rats. And that's like that, the whole concern. That was like our predominant concern about the whole thing coming down. Because we've been pretty loose about it. Like, nobody at my place got it. Nobody in the 2 years almost now that it's been going on. And we've been 7 days a week. Every one of us has been there, and we've been dealing with people, and not one of us caught the CBGBs.
Yeah.
And I was there literally 7 days a week. I was on the trains. You know my whole story.
Yeah. Yep.
So we've been pretty cool about it. And nobody in the store wears masks. Nobody makes anybody wears masks. But nobody tells anybody take your mask off. Like, we're not assholes about it back. We're not counter assholes about it. If you want to wear your mask, wear your mask. But we just all knew, like, instantly when this started breaking, that that's exactly what was going to happen. You're weaponizing the masks and empowering these yentas, these wealthy yentas from the suburb to just come in and just force their will on people. And they love that sort of thing. So that's what we were all, like, kind of freaking out and creeping out about.
Yeah.
But
hey, now that you mentioned hardware, I do have one more question.
Go ahead, because we're almost done.
Okay.
We did the whole show, you and me.
I know.
That's awesome.
I have a cold air return that rattles every time the furnace kicks in.
Okay.
How am I supposed to stop that?
Okay. Did you check all the screws?
Well, I haven't checked all the screws.
Okay, so
yet.
you didn't even start looking at this.
I just touched it. It was like, that thing's rattling, and I just touched it, and as soon as I touch it, it stops.
Yeah, the first thing you want to do.
I got a feeling I got to get the screwdriver out.
Yeah, just take the screws off, take the register off, and just see, maybe a blade fell off or something. If it's old, it could be any number of things, but you don't know what's going on yet. There might be a freaking dead mouse in there or something. I mean, that's not impossible. It's that those things happen. But good question. You asked the right guy.
Okay. Yeah.
When you put it back on, when you put it back on,
you on the phone, I would get some free advice.
When you put the register back on, get some weather stripping and put the weather stripping around where the register touches the wall. That'll actually give you a little bit less of a vibration, less of a chance of it making some noise. You can take a little razor blade and trim around the edges, and it should be nice and quiet from there on out. That's my guess. Okay. Sounds all right?
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to do a Substack ad.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm not. I don't even need to do a Substack ad. No, I do, because there's people here who don't know about, who aren't on Substack, right? I kind of got into the whole just talking to the Substack family.
1,000 people have seen my Substack commercial.
They have. That was cool that you did that.
Yeah.
You gonna do another one this weekend? Because I'm taking this weekend off again. That was awesome.
I don't know if I'll make another one this weekend, but maybe next weekend.
Okay, maybe I'll do something too. And I got to talk to Lance. Lance, if you're out there, I don't know if you're listening or not. Man, I contacted you a couple of weeks ago, and just for everybody else, I contacted Lance about doing some stuff, doing some more songs a couple of weeks ago, and then that's exactly when shit kind of went off the rails here and got crazy. And Lance, if you're out there, I apologize I never got back to you. I absolutely suck, and I'm sorry, and I will definitely get in touch with you. I don't know what I'm going to do from here as far as like the things we already talked about, but I'll get with you. And again, I'm sorry I never got back to you. But anyhow, I don't even remember what I was talking about just before that, but I was just going to get it wrapped up here. We're just at about 30 minutes, and that's what we were shooting for tonight. So, quick Substack ad for anybody on Facebook who is listening along with us tonight. Check us out, guys. We're having a good time over on Substack. Things are going really good. We're having a lot of fun. We got a cool little core group of people. You can get the free content on Substack with nothing but an email. Just go over there. Linda, if you could pop the link up in the comments, that would be awesome. Go over there, give up an email, and all my content that goes on Facebook will come directly to your email, so you don't even need to be on Facebook. If you want to subscribe to the full website is $6 a month. That's 21 cents a day. Come on, guys. I'm not worth 21 cents a day. One of those memes from today. None of that stuff. Anyway, $6 a month. You get full access to the full website. Everything's archived there. So you can actually, here's the best feature of that. You can shut the emails right off and just bookmark the website, and you can go read anything that's there. There's new stuff up every day. We usually have 6 to 8 posts up a day. Some of it's blocked, some of it's free, but if you get subscribed at $6 a month, you get access to that, and you can see anything that's in there. You get the videos, you get the PCS radio stuff, the longer pieces that were locked up. It's full access to the website, and $60 a year if you want to do a yearly subscription. It's coming up on Christmas, guys, so there's always that option to stick a year of PCS Nation under somebody who you love's tree, and a 6 month, 1 month, $6 1 month makes a nice stocking stuffer. Anyway, anybody out there on Facebook, come on over, get on Substack with us in any capacity, from free to yearly to whatever you want to do. Help us build this monster. Everybody's already here. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. I want to do one more thing, and I'm going overtime. Thank you to everybody who reached out to me and asked me if I was okay. There's a little incident the other night, which wasn't anything horrible. It probably sounded a lot worse than it was, but I just had a little pain in my shoulder in the middle of the night, and I woke up. I probably just slept funky. But when I first got up, I was just kind of 56, sitting there waiting for the heart attack to come. And it didn't. It was fine. And I told everybody that then. So I hope nobody panicked about that, because it was really nothing. But thank you to everybody who asked me about it. So love you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for your support here on PCS Nation on Substack. I love you guys. We'll see you Monday for sure. Maybe over the weekend on some other stuff. Everybody have a great Friday night. Everybody have a great weekend. And I'm out of here.